Hey guys, it's Jenkins here, and I wanted to share with you a topic that's near and dear to my heart, which is how to find jobs that aren't yet advertised. Now, there's a particular market space that's just filled with opportunity that we often overlook, and that's what I want to share with you in today's video. Not long ago, I was working with a friend of mine who also happens to be looking for a job, and he was looking on job boards and just wasn't successful. Now, he's in the area of compensation and benefits planning, which is a very interesting niche for a lot of companies. Now, most of the time, you find that role in very large companies, companies of a certain size where they have an HR department where they can have someone who specializes in just that role. Now, he wasn't able to locate any opportunities of interest online, yet he was located in South Florida where there are hundreds of large companies that could use his talent. So we started to look at and investigate opportunities that were not advertised online, but they could be relevant for him. And I directed him to a market space which is largely untapped, but incredibly interesting because they're always looking for talent and they never have too much of it. So you might be thinking, well, exactly what is this market space? Where is it? It happens to be the small and medium-sized businesses, because most of those companies don't have large HR departments. They don't have time to publish their job opportunities and are heavily reliant on finding people through their personal and professional network. Because if you use a recruiter, that runs anywhere between 15 to 25% of an individual's first year salary. That's huge, and most small companies can't afford that. And to spend the time to publish a job online, get 200 applicants in return, and then only to have to respond to all the questions and let people know that they weren't chosen, it's just too much. So most managers in small and medium-sized companies will always prefer to hire from their network. So how do you get access to these companies? Where are these companies that hire? Well, the easiest place to look, and what we did, is we went online. He happens to live in South Florida, and we typed in fastest growing companies in South Florida. That's the Google search. You can do fastest growing companies and put whatever city you're in, choose a major city or the city you're in, because what happens is that the fastest growing companies are always written about in the newspaper. The Chamber of Commerce wants to talk about them. Counties always want to make it look like they're in a growing situation. They want to highlight what's really working well in their county. So these companies are always getting awards and get publicity. So what we did is we found a list of 5,000 companies in South Florida that are in growth mode. They are fast-growing companies. And the reason why you want to target these companies is that they're always growing faster than they have time to hire for. Right? In other words, they're always behind on the hiring, which means that if you come in and they need to be here and you walk in right in the door in the between, you will help fill the role that they're looking for so that they don't even have to go out and advertise it. And they will love you for it. So the way you find these small and medium-sized companies that are growing is search on the internet, search fastest growing companies with whatever city you're in or around, and then see if you can't find a list on a newspaper or a PDF that's been written about in the Chamber of Commerce, and start using that as your target list. Narrow down which companies there are of interest and create a plan for how you're going to approach them in order to speak to a manager that's working there. Because what you want to now find out is what kind of opportunities are available there that could be of interest to you. Does that make sense? So first, make sure to consider the SMB market, the small and medium-sized there was a fly there. A small and medium-sized business market. Second thing is to find the fastest growing ones, do a search on Google. And third, be laser focused in how you approach them by trying to speak to managers that work there. Use LinkedIn, use your network and your contacts in order to get as close as you can to find those opportunities before they get announced. Now, just to give you a little personal example, I ended up working for a company that was on the list just like that had a 77,000% revenue growth rate over 5 years. This company was in hyper growth mode, and it could not keep up with the amount of hiring needed to sustain that kind of growth. So when I came in there and positioned my skills and my interest and how I could help them and that value that I'd bring to them, it was an easy match. So don't hesitate to look for those fast-growing companies because they're exciting opportunities and they're easy to find. The other thing is, from a job seeker's point of view, there's little to no competition when you apply for them. Now, if you enjoyed this tip here and it was helpful to you, make sure to join an upcoming webinar where I share more helpful job hunting tips. You'll find it either in the description above or below in the comments, the address for exactly that webinar. And I look forward to seeing you very soon on one of those webinars. So take care. Until then, best wishes.